Yeah, pretty confident after our recent run of form. We've been in February.
Yeah.
Quite strong, doing well against playoff teams. So great on Sunderland.
Yeah. You mentioned that the form, especially at home, has been good, hasn't it? Does that give you confidence?
Yeah. The only thing is the away form hasn't been great, and the injuries that we've got with like Onel Hernandez now injured out.
Yeah.
So it's a bit hard, but I think we'll push through it.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about those injuries. How much of an impact will they have? Obviously, Hernandez, Nunez, Duffy all out.
It's hard, but like recently without Duffy, we've been all right defensively. Onel, he's a big left winger for us, especially when Borges not necessarily in form. Hopefully, we'll be all right though, because we have got other players who are shining through. Like Fasnacht recently, been really good. So fingers crossed, we'll be all right.
Yeah, Fasnacht looks like he's going to be the man to sort of fill the gap. How do you think he'll get on?
I think he'll get on all right because he helps defend. I think his only weakness is if the balls don't come in at the back post, then he doesn't really get many goals as a winger. But he can help Stacey out, which Stacey pushes up and delivers the crosses. So yeah, not too bad.
Obviously, Norwich are very, very close to the playoffs. Do you think they'll end up in that top 6 at the end of the season?
It will. I hope they do. It will just matter on like games, which like at the weekend.
I think Ipswich Norwich final.
How would you feel about that? Would you be happy to do that, or a bit nervous?
Yeah, all the way to Wembley.
Good stuff. Can I have a couple of score predictions for today's game?
3-1. 2.
Good stuff.
Oh, you know what we're like. We'll play really well against the good sides, and this could be a banana skin. We'll see.
But are you encouraged by the sort of recent home form?
Absolutely. I don't know what Bardman's done, but he's really turned it round. People were dissing him back in the autumn, but look at the way things are going now. He's doing a great job.
Yeah, do you think a lot of the credit goes to him? Obviously, as you said, there was a lot of criticism of him. How much of it is to do with him and how much is to do with the players?
Well, I think it's a bit of both, isn't it, really? You know, the players have reacted well.
Yeah.
Or they got some criticism from the fans, and probably well deserved, and I think they even recognised that.
Yeah.
But whatever they've done, they knuckled down and they went defensively for a period of time, and the football wasn't great, but I think they had to reset themselves to get to play the way they are now.
They've got a few injuries, obviously Onel Hernandez, Nunez, Duffy, Rowe all missing this game. How big of an impact do you think that could have?
Opportunities for someone else to come in, really, isn't it? You know, obviously players like Onel, he gives out 100% all of the time, as they all do. Of course you'll miss them, but someone else can come in and say, I want that shirt now.
In that sense, is it encouraging that Christian Fasnacht has been sort of contributing goals and assists in the last few weeks?
They all have, haven't they?
Yeah.
In some one way or another. You know, he's been a bit in and out with his form.
Yeah.
But he's proven that he can score goals, which is really what we need to win games.
Do you think Norwich can get into the playoffs?
We'll see.
Can I have a score prediction for today's game?
My heart says 3-1 to Norwich. My head says maybe 2-1.
Okay. Well, both were alright, to be fair.
Feeling pretty positive about today's game. It'll be a tough one, for sure, but I think there's a win in us. Yeah.
Is there confidence from sort of the home form Norwich have had in the last few weeks, especially?
Has to be, yeah. We've been good at home.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll be all right.
And you mentioned you think it might be a tough test. What do you make of Sunderland? Obviously, they don't have Jack Clark. Do you think that'll make it a little bit easier for Norwich?
Yeah, it'll be a bit easier, but they've got some good players in there without him. So.
Yeah. And Norwich without Onel Hernandez and Marcelino Nunez, they've got a few sort of injury issues. Do you think that'll play a big part?
It'll be a big part, yeah, but it'd be good for some youth to come through, get on the bench, get some minutes, and then it'll be good.
Yeah. Obviously, since Josh Sargent came back, he's been in fine form. Struggled a little bit at Blackburn, but how important has he been to Norwich sort of turning things around?
Yeah, just got to look at his form in front of goal. He's so important.
Yeah.
Yeah, if we can just keep him fit for the rest of the season, I think we'll be all right.
And Wagner tends to play him with Ashley Barnes up front at home. Do you think that duo really gets the best out of each other as well?
Yeah, I think it does, yeah. When they can play off each other and Barnes can hold up the ball and Sargent can make them runs,
Obviously they're 7th at the moment, very close to the playoffs. Do you think they'll make the top 6 at the end of the season? No. Can I have a score prediction for today's game?
We'll go 2-1, Norwich win.
Not very convincing.
Not very convincing, no. Man of the match, Stacey.
Yeah. Do you think it was a sort of performance that maybe didn't warrant 3 points, but could be really valuable by the end of the season?
We definitely were the better team.
Yeah.
But I think it was just the absentees. You could tell it was like no width at all. It was very narrow.
Yeah.
I think the goal we actually scored came from what probably was our best tactic, which was just to lump it in the box of the striker.
Yeah.
Which, you know, we should have done more than maybe passed it around the back. There was a lot of opportunities we had. Get it in the box, 2 strikers who, you know, good in the air, physical units. That goal came from that, when I think we actually probably should have done that a lot throughout the whole game, rather than trying to play through them, try and play through them, and go for some sort of tap-in. Well, I think perhaps we, you know, we tried to overcomplicate things at times.
Yeah. Do you think it was a sort of performance that you can probably forgive in the context? Obviously, the performances have been
didn't help, did
very
it?
good. Yeah.
First time we probably played in conditions like this all season.
Yeah.
And it probably wasn't for fine football. But
there was a lot of missed kicks, air shots. You know, it was. I think both teams, the defence, you know, had a lot of times they were tested, and it was, you know, last stitch at the end.
Yeah. Were there any individual performances that especially pleased you or disappointed you out there?
No, look, Stacey.
He's
just got a hell of an engine on him.
Yeah,
you know,
he was really good.
I think if he can get a good cross on,
and a goal would help.
Yeah, I think naturally that we put a lot of emphasis on the fullbacks today. I think they were actually possibly our 2 best players.
Yeah.
Because they had a lot more of a job to do today, given we had no width from any of the midfielders. So I think what they done was good, but you'd like to see a bit more end product from them. I think they will actually have to produce a lot of end product for the end of the season, given
you can tell he's a PhD.
Yeah, the playoff gap is now down to 1 point, I think. Do you think they can get there?
Preston held through, didn't they? So.
Yeah. Do you think they can get there before the end of the season?
Can get there.
There's no reason why not, but you know, a performance like that is not going to do us any good at all. So I think we need to figure out how we're going to adapt at the minute. I don't think we've adapted well to the absentees. Yeah. I think we need to adapt more. Whether that's formation change, I don't know. But I think that will be the key if we get in the playoffs, or we want to, you know, be competitive, is adapting. Yeah.
Not too bad a performance. A little bit disappointing, but overall, wins are winners, and can't complain about that.
How big is that? Obviously now within 1 point of the playoffs.
Huge for the championship table and the playoffs, but a little bit disappointing in the performance overall. I can't. You know, Sargent always gets the goals, so can't complain about that. Yeah. But still some things we need to work on. I know we've got a few injuries, but Gibbs is a right winger, always does my head in. Just a couple of areas were weak. Wasn't the most convincing performance, but as I say, 3 points is 3 points.
Can you forgive that performance a little bit, given obviously the injuries you mentioned and the fact that the performances have been so good at home recently?
To a certain extent, but again, it falls on the play style, and obviously I'm all for playing out from the back and everything like that. But sometimes you need to be careful where you give the ball away. We're very poor at giving the ball away and turning it over in places where we shouldn't. It's a case of that really. It's just being a little bit more careful with where we play the passes and getting a little bit quicker on the turnover, and we'll be fine. But
were there any individual performances that especially pleased you or disappointed you today?
I don't think any particular individual stood out. Obviously, Sargent got his goal, but it was more a team dig-in performance to me to get the 3 points in the end. But other than that, no, nothing major. No one that really stood out.
I think a 0-0 game for most of it. Nice improvisation from Sargent, I think, for the goal, and it's all good. I mean, could get playoffs. I'm very hopeful.
Yeah, do you think it's the sort of performance you can forgive in the context of maybe the injuries and the home performances recently?
Yeah, going into it, Sunderland are a team that are there or thereabouts, or have been there or thereabouts, so you take 3 points against someone like that.
They're fortunate they didn't have Jack Clark play, and I suppose that did help us, but you know. Perhaps get 3 points.
Were there any individual performances you're especially pleased or disappointed with?
I thought Hanley did well. I thought Sarah did all right. It's a shame that he couldn't get the ball in the net. I think there was a few times he messed up. But generally, there's a few good performances. And I don't know too many disappointments.
I don't think anyone's had a bad game. Overall, it's been good. No outstanding performances, but no, it's been alright.
Was there any worry for you about how Norwich maybe progressed the ball? It feels like they struggled to break down the Sunderland defence at times.
Yeah, at times it has been like that this season and regular. But you know, as long as we can keep it compact, and you'd always take the 1-0 today, I think.
Yeah. Do you think they missed the injured players? Do you think that was evident in the performance?
I think it's more who we could have had off the bench.
Yeah.
The starting 11 was strong, but we missed having that impact off the bench. Rowe, Hernandez, Nunez. You know, who can you bring on? Liam Gibbs on the wing. He had a good game.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
You wouldn't have thought that was going to happen.
Yeah. No. So do you think Norwich can get into the playoffs? I think it's down to 1 point now, so it's pretty close.
Yeah, definitely do it.
It's not our site, you know.
Yeah.
Got a good run coming up, you know. We'll see, I suppose.
Yeah.